Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. It's so good to see all of you.
You too.
Yeah. If you're new here, I'm Jennifer Diamond, and I'm a certified plant-based nutrition coach, living a whole food, plant-based lifestyle for health and well-being. And living this way, it literally gave me my life back after years of chronic illness. So I'm truly hopeful, and I know and I believe wholeheartedly that it can help you too. So boy, do I have something fun and exciting for you guys today. Today, I am joined by some of my favorite whole food plant-based people and my friends, Kathy Hester and Cheryl Purser, here today. And if you don't already know Kathy, oh my gosh, she's an incredibly talented cookbook author, recipe developer, a content creator who's been helping people discover how fun and flavorful plant-based cooking can be. She's written multiple cookbooks, ebooks, has her own YouTube channel as well, and is known for her amazing recipes that are easy, healthy, and always yummy and delicious. So today, Kathy's showing us how to make magical pumpkin spice ice cream and more things. And that's completely dairy-free, oil-free, and it's going to be really still full of that rich, creamy flavor, that fall flavor that we all love, especially around this time of year. So, and it's going to all be made using her Ninja Creami machines, which if you've never used one before, it's a lot of fun and a really creative kitchen tool. And it can make a lot of plant-based frozen desserts and so forth. So just last thing real quick is, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. Share your stories, throw some comments in there. And if you already have a Ninja Creami, tell us which one, since there's so many, and what your favorite flavor is or anything. We really love the opportunity to engage with you. So I'd like to welcome back the talented Kathy Hester and Cheryl. I am so excited to have you both here today.
Well, we're just thrilled.
Yeah.
And Halloween is my favorite time of the year, which is why, even though I'm doing the pumpkin spice ice cream, which is from Ninja Creami ebook 2, which you can still get. Ninja Creami ebook 3 is the new one this year that we're talking about. We're going to also make some. This was your favorite.
My
recipe.
favorite. It
Even
really
above
was.
the chocolate
Yeah.
was a raspberry
and I'm a chocolate
cheesecake.
person, so this was.
Yeah. And we'll talk. One of the things I want to talk about, and I had someone who just got a new Ninja Creami, because some of the things we do as whole food plant-based Ninja Creami makers goes against some of the rules. And we can talk about how it's not necessarily against the rules. We're changing the rules a little bit. So typically, if you look and you open up your recipe book, you'll see things like, oh, the vegan one has full fat coconut milk and this, that, and the other. And a lot of people got really turned off, which is why a few years ago when it came out, I did the Ninja Creami experience and I did these books, because you don't have to do it that way. We can eat it. So what happens is if the mixture freezes too hard, it can be too hard on the machine. So usually fat and sugar are what make that mixture not freeze so hard. We're really using fiber.
Oh,
and that, just so everybody's clear, because it'll say, like, I find it so weird. It even says, don't use canned fruit and just canned fruit, but then they have a recipe that's all pineapple. So even they contradict themselves, but a lot of people are scared of that and realize I have all 4 Ninja Creamis. All 4 models, including the discontinued one, and I've not had a break on any of them.
That's amazing. I love that you just shared that secret, because so many people, especially if you're not whole food plant-based or if you're transitioning, don't get enough fiber in. So what is better than having fiber in your dessert?
Exactly.
I love it.
And it's not like we're going to put some Metamucil in there. So don't
no.
deep Zen breath if you got nervous about that. But so in book 2 and book 3, the things I talk about are these whole food plant-based thickeners. And in both of them, there's a really long list. And today we're going to use 2 different ones. We're going to actually use pumpkin puree is going to be our thickener in the pumpkin spice. And I am going to use okara which is the leftover pulp from soy milk.
Oh my gosh.
However,
Yeah.
you don't have to. You could use cooked white sweet potato. You could use a combination of some extra oats and maybe a quarter cup of beans. You can use zucchini and a little bit of beans. You can use, there's so many different ways. So like, let me see, I should have probably, there's a whole list. Like there's like a whole page of them. And so, yeah, so like this. It's a whole list of things that you can use. Silken tofu, ripe banana, vegan yogurt, leftover steel cut oats from your breakfast, cauliflower, cooked carrots. So the reason I'm kind of saying these is that I want you to know, because a lot of times people go, well, I don't make my own milk, so therefore now I cannot do this. That is not the case. I happen to have, because I was doing something else, I have Okara from 4 batches of soy milk. So this thing is heavy. It's probably enough to make about 8 pints.
For people who aren't familiar with what that is, Okara.
Yeah, Okara is if you make your own soy milk, or if you've made your own oat milk or almond milk, you know when you strain it out, the pulp that is left, that's what this is. So this is leftover soy pulp. And in Japanese cuisine, it's used in many different ways. A great way to add fiber and into your diet is to, if you make soy milk, use a little bit of that in your mashed potatoes. No one will know.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, I want to just take a quick minute and say hello to a lot of people here. We have Jill Caperton here. Hello, Jill. Elizabeth Markowitz. Hello. Hey, everyone. Excited to listen to this and go for a walk today. That's awesome. Apple a Day is in the house. Hello. Hot diggity. I'm excited for this recipe. And let's see. We also have, Leanne Long. Wow, 5 already. Good to see these lovely smiles. We've got Sandy. Gosh, I'm not sure how to say that last name. Moscal, pumpkin spice, yum. We've got Natalie Dixon. Hello, everyone. And then Apple a Day said, I'm watching on both Kathy and Jennifer's channels.
You got 2 gold stars, Apple. 2 gold stars.
Thank you. And then she said, gotta click the like button twice, LOL. We both appreciate that very much. And so good to have everyone here. Hi, Deborah Barr is here. Good to see everyone. And Leanne Long said, go back up a little bit, honey. I was in the mid. Let's see. She said, flavor whisper. Kathy Hester is.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so thank you so much. We have John Riley here. Hi, everyone. Hopefully Mary Steele is paying attention because she has the Ninja machine. Okay. And we've got Mona here in the house. And hold on. We've got so many people here. I'll just say a few more and then we're going to get talking and get busy here. We've got M Pennington 27. Hi, everyone. Love pumpkin and spice. We've got Monique here and just everyone. Thank you so much. And if you are going to be asking a question, please make sure you put the question marks like 3 in a row on the front and the back so that we will not miss it. So, all right. Well, I also want to say that you were holding up that book. And those books that you sell are actually ebooks, and we are going to have a link if anyone's interested, but you printed those out. You don't sell them like that somewhere.
No, because it would cost a lot of money. So this is the way to make it the best bargain for you guys. So if you don't have a printer, ask a friend or go to the library and print it double-sided. I just did this today because I hadn't printed this one out, actually, because we were traveling when it published. And it costs, we did the rush fee. So it costs $7.75 for them to spiral bind it.
It was 50 cents more for the rush order today.
So it's really inexpensive. And so what you get is there's like this little cover that helps protect things. And on the back, there's a cover. But it's really nice. And then if something happens to it, you can always print it out again from your PDF. Another good reason to have ebooks, have it on your phone. If you're like at the grocery store and you're like, oh, what was in that raspberry ice cream that Kathy made? And you can pull it up and you can buy the things.
On your phone. I love that. And I love that. You could probably even add a few extra like blank pages before you put it in the binder. So if you wanted to make notes or you came up with your own ideas, you could store them in there as well. I love that. I got to print some out for myself.
Absolutely. And there's enough for it. Like there's a lot of room in here, so you can do a lot of writing on the pages. And then like, this is my favorite. Oh, here we go. Oh, nope, wrong way. There we go.
There we go. We see it. Look at that picture.
I know, it's my favorite picture. I love the Halloween.
Yes, and I was saying right before we got on here that I love that shirt. You got to just at least tell us a little bit about that. It looks very potion-y.
It is. You probably can't see it much. That's a little cauldron. There's a little black kitty there, and there's a little dragon head in the flames.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So last time you were both on the show, I believe you were traveling, and we were talking all about one of your ebooks in the bundle. I think it was a pizza one, and that was so fun. So just how have you guys been doing? Are you still traveling? I see you're at home for the moment, right?
We are for the moment. We have 3 more cruises we're going on before the end of the year. But yeah, I think this year by the end we will have gone on 16 cruises, 15 or 16 cruises for the Travel Channel. So we also have another channel called the Plant-Based Explorers. And so if you're interested in plant-based travel, or like, can I eat on a cruise or things like that, or you're interested in traveling as a plant-based individual, come follow us over there. We've got some travel planned for next year too that I'm very excited about.
Wow, that's really great. I see we do have a question here from Connie Perry. How long does the Okara last, or can it be frozen?
It can be frozen, and I think so if I don't, however much I use now, I will probably freeze it in, depending on what I want to use it for. If I cook beans from scratch, what I like to freeze them in is 1.5 cup sections, because that's about the same size as a can of beans. So it makes it really easy to substitute in a recipe. If I knew I was going to use this for Ninja Creamies, I would freeze it in 1/2 cups. And you could even do something like plop it on a parchment paper on a cookie sheet, put it in, freeze it, and then drop it into a Ziploc. And that would work.
That's good. I have some of those super cubes.
Yeah, super cubes will work really great too.
Well, you can get some off brands that are less expensive, but it's basically a container that's silicone and it can measure. But I like your way. It's that's a nice way too. It's just simple and doesn't cost anything.
Either way, like when I do something with tomato paste, I also like kind of plop. I take a piece of parchment and put on foil, and I plop tablespoons and just wrap it up and put it in the freezer. So, because there's always leftovers.
Always leftovers. That's great.
But Okara in the fridge usually lasts about 5 days. It could last up to a week. It's going to depend on how cold your individual fridge and freezer are as well. That will change it. Just kind of like, I'm going to be using, because obviously I made a bunch of soy milk, so I'm going to be using soy milk in the recipes today. Shocker. But you could use oat milk. You can use almond milk. If you're making your own milk, or if you're like, I really want to make this, but I don't feel like going to the store to get some milk, even if you have a cheap blender, you can do a cup of rolled oats, 3 cups of water, a cup of ice, blend it. Just don't let it get hot. You only have to worry about that if you have like a Vitamix or a Blendtec, something that will get hot enough, and then strain it. And you usually, especially with oat milk, I just use a fine mesh strainer, and I just basically, you're scraping the pulp and letting water or milk come through. And oat milk like that is going to last in the fridge about 3 days. And so that lasts a lot less, but also even milk, non-dairy milk you make can be frozen. So you could freeze it in ice cube trays, or you could freeze it in super cubes, or a lot of mason jars are freezer safe. You have to look at yours and see if they are or not.
Okay, we have Leanne Long saying, I freeze the Okara and the fiber from my homemade coffee creamer for ice cream base. That's magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go. Thank you for sharing. Core Scorpy is here. Hello, Core Scorpy. And Olive Ostrich says, Cheryl, I like your cap.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
My Key West hat.
It is her Key West hat. We've been to Key West a couple of times, and we're going to Key West at the end of this month.
Yeah. It's really nice there, but they have all these roosters and chickens that just roam the streets there. So it's kind of like their signature thing now is the roosters.
It's weird. They just are everywhere, and they're beautiful.
They're very, very colorful and very beautiful.
Yeah.
But loud.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I just want to quickly say, Mona said that she was a little confused that we're coming on together on all the channels. But what's so fantastic is that Cheryl and Kathy are, guests on my channel. But the way technology is, we can connect all the channels. So there's a lot of platforms that you can find us on. And so hopefully it's not confusing. It's supposed to be so that there's so many places to be able to view it.
Well, and sometimes YouTube doesn't always say, hey, people are going. So this way it gives you more chance. So I'm happy that you're watching no matter where you are.
Exactly.
Yes. We all feel that way. And just really quick, going back to, all the cruises that you guys have been going on and are going to go on. Wow, what an experience that probably is. I recently just went on one cruise, and that was a big deal for me. And preparing for it, it was really nice to be able to know that I could go to your channel, the new channel that you have, and just get some kind of idea about some tips and different tricks and things that you've already kind of mastered when you're traveling whole food, plant-based, and or no oil or whatever it is. It's been really helpful. I have watched some of those, and I want to thank you because I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I don't think it's you'll probably put it in the description later. So like Potions and Powders, which is the book that I'm working on now that you can pre-order. And you can pre-order through me, or you can pre-order with Jennifer's link. I just needed a breath. She's like,
thought she was having a senior moment.
I thought I forgot your name.
I'm going to put it up right now while you're talking. So you'll be able to see it in a second.
And so one of the cool things about it is that we traveled with some of those powders. So I could make a chickpea gravy. I could make a mushroom gravy. I could have my tofu scramble seasoning with me. I brought pepperoni spice.
It was so nice to be able to have one of the vegan pizzas with the little pepperoni spice on it to give it like flavor,
And then also I have a nut-free Parmesan. So it's an oat-based Parmesan. So you could put that on in that, even if you don't want to do the oil of a vegan cheese, if that cruise line has it, you don't have to. Right? So then you're like way ahead of the game.
I love it. Now, having it as like a powder, you're not going to have trouble going through the TSA security. If it's a liquid, it's such a big deal. Did you find that it wasn't a big deal if you wanted to carry that on with you?
No, we didn't fly a lot of places with it, but we did fly with it to Alaska.
Yeah, we did fly with it to Alaska.
So it was in like a little camping kit, and I have some files that look like it. So it's like this little case. There's a little bit smaller than this. So I just have them, and there's like
they look like little
10
test
vials, 10 vials, and it's in this like camping thing that keeps them safe.
Thing that they slide in little slots, and
I love that. I love that. It reminds me of the name, the Potions, and it's kind of fun. Leanne Long says, Kathy taught me everything I know about Creami.
Aw, thank you.
And John Riley said, we even saw Jennifer on the Alaskan cruise a few times. Yes, we did. It was a lot of fun. That was the cruise that I went on. And apparently you guys have gone on it too. And then I also want to say, Alfie Boy 1, you're the reason I got my Ninja Creami Breeze. I hope you're doing great, and that is to you, Kathy.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me mix this up, because one of the things that when you're looking for a new appliance, so you go out and you read reviews and you read things, and I'm starting to learn, as probably you are too, that people like to complain about nothing. like just nothing. So they'll be like, oh, I have to plan ahead to have my Ninja Creami. No, just prep once a month, prep 4 pints, and you're done. And you might be like, 4 recipes? That sounds like so much. Okay, now granted, I have measured a couple of things out, but like, okay, we're going to do the pumpkin spice one now. Canned pumpkin, plonk, and we're going to put it in a blender. I, even if I'm just using canned fruit, like to blend it because the consistency is better. And, you know, much like I'm going to try and scrape every last bit out of this, I like my consistency to be a little on the OCD level too. So we're going to do about 1 cup. Oh, and another thing, I'm looking at my recipes, which usually I don't do, right? It has the measurements for both the regular creamy, which is a 2-cup pint, and the deluxe, which is a 3-cup pint. Not my game. But so their measurements in the brackets, it's for the others. Okay, we're going to do 1 cup of non-dairy milk, because I was translating. I saw 1 and 1.5, and I was like, what? What do I need to do?
Well, while you're talking about that, I'll just tell you that I loved that you had the different measurements in your Ninja Creami ebook 3, because I have the deluxe. So having the different measurements in that bracket, I thought that was genius and so helpful. And so I was wondering, you know, why did you come up with that idea, or how did you come up with that idea of adding it?
You remember when I said, you know how people complain about everything?
Okay.
Perhaps.
Well, I loved the creation, so in a way that was a positive.
It is. No, and if you are some of the people who emailed me, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The first book does not have it, because when I did it, the deluxe didn't exist, right? And if you go on to healthyslowcooking.com, I do have some Ninja Creami recipes there. And because of the blog recipe thing, I have it where you can click back and forth. And unfortunately, life isn't like that. So I just put in 5 to 7 medjool dates. So why do I say 5 to 7 and why do I say medjool? You don't have to use medjool dates. But if you use deglet dates, you're probably going to need to use twice as many. That's all, just because they're usually twice as small.
While we're
now,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and it depends on what you like. How sweet do you need it? I say 5 to 7, but you might be a solid 4-date person or a solid 10-date person. And all these recipes are for you to kind of start here and then make it the way you really like it. And what were you going to ask, Jennifer?
Yeah, you know, when you brought up the dates, I actually have some dates here because I made one of your recipes and I'll spin it later with you. But these are the medjool dates that I get at Costco. And, you know, I use these. And when it said on the recipe that I did, because I did the almond marzipan ice cream, it said 5 to 7 also. But then I also recently was at Dateland. I think that's what it's called, right, Todd? And bought all different kinds of dates. I think these, I don't know which ones these are, but I just wanted to show that, you know, sometimes even these are really sweet and you can see that there's quite a difference in size, and the flavor sometimes, if you try different ones, can be just as sweet. And so I was kind of thinking, should there be a weight, or how do you know, depending on the type of date, or is it just preference, like you started to say?
It's going to be preference, and I'll show you what I always do. So there's a cardinal rule. I try to have very few rules, but you're going to taste it before you freeze it. It's not going to taste exactly like it's going to taste. It's actually going to taste a little less sweet once it's frozen, but you can taste it. Like if you're like, that sounds like a lot of dates, put 4 in, spin it, blend it, taste it, and go, yeah, that's not going to work. Or, oh my gosh, that's perfect. Yay me. I know myself. So that's part of it, is just kind of looking through things. So we've done that. I'm going to put some vanilla in. It's 1 teaspoon. And look at that. I didn't even measure. The world is not going to crumble. It's okay. We can taste it, and if I need to add some more. And so I have a pumpkin spice blend, and these are I have an apple pie spice blend, a chai spice blend, or kind of my oatmeal dessert ice cream spices, and those are in potions and powders as well. And we're going to use pumpkin spice. You could also just use actually, I think I have the pumpkin spice recipe in one of the books, maybe in both the books for all of the ice cream books as well. But you could just put cinnamon, a little bit of cardamom, maybe not cardamom, cloves. You just do some things. You can also just buy Trader Joe's pumpkin spice mix right now. But if you have an apple pie spice or a chai spice, you could use that too. We could make chai spiced pumpkin. And it's really pretty similar anyhow. It's just really easy. Basically, all you need to do is measure the stuff in and mix it up or put it in a blender. So making your spice blends is really easy, but here's the thing. If you don't like the way Trader Joe's does theirs, you can make one that's just custom for you. And I think that's really, really helpful. So I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon. I always like it a little extra, so I'm doing a heaping teaspoon. And so a recipe should always just be kind of a starting guideline for what you like. So this was the whole recipe with all the talking. Doing four of these.
Really great. Yeah. And when you're talking about making your own spice blends, you don't have any additives or preservatives or anything in there as well. And so if it gets clunky, that's not a bad thing, right? You can just kind of mix it up. Sometimes I do that. Do you find that you ever need to do something if you make it and you have it stored, that sometimes it kind of makes
it clumps up? You could use a desiccant pack. So if you or your family has any kind of medicine or vitamins or herbs that you have, I save those in a little pile, and that can be helpful. I'm looking, Marilyn, who's on here now too. Marilyn has, she's like the dehydrator queen. I love her. So if you guys have dehydrator questions, you should ask Marilyn. And so you can actually take the air out and seal a mason jar. So you could do it in two, one you're going to use now and one that you might keep later. Worst case scenario, because do I have access to Marilyn's knowledge? Yes. Do I use it all the time? No. So my powder really clumped up. So I just put it in the blender again to get it loose. And then I put it in the dehydrator. And if you have a Breville, the Breville has a dehydrator function. But those white round ones that you see at thrift stores, those work great too.
Oh, okay.
And
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say they're really cheap. You can get them very easily. If you have a Buy Nothing group or a Facebook group, sometimes people even give them away.
Okay, I see Raw Chef Yin is here.
Yay! What are you doing up?
You should be in bed.
This is too early for you to be up.
Right? Because she's in Malaysia, and so I don't know what time it is, but we're glad to have you here. 5 a.m.? Oh, 5
Yeah, I think.
Wow, early bird, right?
If you want to mute me, I think this may be okay, but if you need to mute me and talk, just go right ahead. I'm going to blend this. It should, our mic should go down naturally.
Well, I'll just say, can you guys hear me? I don't know if we can. Probably would mute them. So I'm talking while she's spinning, and I'll just tell you that I'm really excited for what she's doing and how she's sharing all this stuff. You guys, I don't know if you've experienced some of Kathy's books or gone to her her website. You got to check it out. There's a lot of free stuff on there too. And I'm excited to spin some of my stuff and share with you some of the ingredients that she has in the almond marzipan ice cream recipe that I used. Was really kind of fun are these chestnuts. And, I don't normally use chestnuts. So that was kind of fun. And I kept a couple to show you. They're kind of soft. And I got them in this bag here. These are organic, roasted, recipe ready. They're peeled. And that's what I was able to put in this recipe here. And I also want to share that you don't have to do this, but I did go ahead and make homemade almond milk for this recipe, and I had soaked and dehydrated my almond, and so the skin came off. See, some of these, they have this like dark kind of coating, and I, for that batch, peeled it off. So when I had the extra pulp, it was so white. I went ahead and put it in my dehydrator, and then I left it kind of just to show you, but I can just whip it up in my dry mixed container, and then that is almond flour, so I can use it for something else. But I wanted to show you that, that if you take the skin off, if you can, and you want to, how white and beautiful it is. And it really doesn't matter. You can leave it on, but the milk came out so white and creamy. So anyways, I see you're done. I'll let you chime in here.
I actually buy some already blanched almonds. I'll buy like a 5-pound bag. And one of the reasons I do it is because then when I'm making almond milk, when I make soy milk, I make it with the Miomat that you see right here. That's my favorite warm soy milk maker. The Nama M1 is amazing. It's really hands-off. It does not do soy well, even if you cook your soybeans. I wasn't happy with the Okara there, but the Nama makes this really dry, lovely almond pulp. And then what I do is I've been making it into ricotta or queso fresca by putting a little bit of lime powder, and you can buy lime powder, but you can also just zest limes, dehydrate it, put it in your blender. So like when we talk potions, I'm obsessed with powders, and I have been for a long time, but it's just like, that's a great way to preserve. Like if you got a whole bunch of limes, now you can use it for a year, right?
That's amazing.
But you put a little lime, a little bit of lactic acid, and we're going to use some vegan lactic acid in the raspberry recipe.
A little bit. There we go.
Sorry, I have two things I'm seeing.
No worries. No worries.
And it's made with non-GMO sugar beets, so it's gluten-free and vegan, but it just gives it a little bit of a sour taste. Now, this is the Beast blender. You don't need one of these. Whatever blender you have. I went through a couple of Ninjas. I have a Vitamix, but they don't always do the small measures so good. And so the Beast was really on sale a couple of years ago at Costco, and I love it. And so I have this special spatula that's just for the Beast. And please don't spend money on it, because it's not going to help you if you don't have a Beast.
But if you do have a Beast,
you get another quarter cup out of here because of all the ridges.
That spatula is incredible.
And I do like the Beast because of the small. There's smaller containers than this, and it will do spice blends and stuff too. But I also, if you have like an old coffee grinder, you can run some white rice through that and get the coffee smell out of it. And then you could do your spices in there too if you wanted to.
Oh, when you're done, can you show us that spatula that you're using to scoop out? And yeah, that is pretty nifty. Look at that.
Well, you see how it has this little notch?
Yes.
And this container has a lot of notches. So it fits right inside and helps scrape every little last bit.
I mean, look how clean this thing is.
Yeah.
Think somebody licked it.
I'm all about the spatula. I love a good spatula scrape. I'm not kidding. I really do.
The spatula just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about these, because if you don't have the new swirl, you don't have these kind of containers. They're significantly different. Now, this doesn't go absolutely all the way up to the max fill line. Doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter. If it's a little under, because I could spin this, have a scoop, and level it off and put it back in the freezer till I want to make it tomorrow and have a scoop. And you can do that till it's about quarter of the way full. So I always label these because I will forget. If you only have two, you're probably good. And then you want to make sure when you freeze it, we're freezing it on a flat surface. This needs to freeze straight across and not at an angle, or it could break your machine.
So that little circle on that one, it looks like a wheel. I mean, it's not though.
Yeah, okay, and let me show side by side. So literally this is the bottom for this. And this has stuff because when we make a soft serve, it's going to squirt out of here. So
Oh.
another thing you have to be sure of if you've just gotten this, so this, get it where I can hold it. This opens and closes. And if you had it open and you put your stuff in, it's just going to leak right out.
Oh dear.
And there is an open and close. Let me see if I can show you a little closer. So see, it is not one. Okay. Anyhow, just trust me. That says open and close. There has to be some trust. So we want to make sure it's closed. Else, because it opens up this chamber where ice cream is going to go through. And we'll see that in a little bit.
Okay. That is exciting. We do have some people talking about chestnuts. Let's see. I know that, let's see. I think Leanne Long said that Costco carries chestnuts during the holidays. That's a good place to stock up.
They're there now, at least in Durham. So they come in these little packets, and usually the date's for over a year. So you can get a couple while they're there.
Wow. And then Tova Cohen said, and she was, referring back to Leanne Long, Publix and Walmart have the dried chestnuts year round in the kosher section in case you are not at the holidays and you run low. That's really good. Now, out where I live, we don't have Publix, but I know that is a grocery store. We do have Walmart, so we could probably find it there. And then let's see. Deborah Barr said, I love the Joy, Joi, nut-based paste. So there's so many options when it comes to making milks. And when you talked about the Nama milk, that, I'm holding the container. So that's the machine that I used. That's the one that I have. Whoops. But that you have some other ones. The one you use for soy behind you. Can you mention that name again?
Sure. Miomat, Miomat. And I think if you put, you're not an affiliate with Miomat, are you, Jennifer?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. But if you use my name, if you don't have one, if you do Kathy Hester one word, you'll get a discount. That's all.
Awesome.
But Eric is amazing. I really like one of the things and I have videos about all the different milk makers, but it's just all stainless.
Oh, I love that.
And then this comes off, but this helps blend things really well. It has a cleaning cycle. It's been really good. And Eric, who makes it, has been in contact with me since he asked me if I wanted to try it, and has sent me units as little updates have happened. He's also the one, if you're on my mailing list, that I've been sending out because he's doing the stainless steel strainer that I was going to make. And then he said, hey, I think I'm going to make one. I'm like, I would rather promote yours because I don't know anything about that business. And it's not quite here yet, but he had some for pre-order. And the day it comes in, unless I'm on a cruise, I'm going to be demoing it. I swear to you. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Okay. So that machine you really like to use for the hot soy. Would you use it for anything else? If someone could only get one machine and they did want to have the versatility to make the soy milk and the okara and all of those wonderful things, could you make other things in that one?
Oh, yeah. You can make soups. You can make smoothies. It has a really strong motor. You can make almond milk in there. You can make raw almond milk, or you can make cooked almond milk. If you do cooked almond milk on a cook setting, it actually will froth.
Ooh. Okay.
So obviously, I know I've been researching milk makers for a couple of years, so I know too much. But Miomat is my favorite in general. So I would have some questions to ask the people, like, is straining non-negotiable for you? Are you like, I am not ever going to strain. I will pick the kind of milk I need to make based on if I have to strain or not. Then I would go with the Nama if it's in your budget, because it's like $500. I love it. And with me doing all these milk makers, I had no choice. And it is out and about. I have other milk makers I have done reviews about that are just kind of in a cabinet. My Our Meomat is my favorite because I love soy milk. I love okara. Like, I can use all this and I can make ricotta and make a whole wheat lasagna.
Oh, wow.
And,
So with that one, is that price range still up there, or do
no,
you
I
even
think
remember?
it's like maybe like $250. I know something changed with some of the tariff stuff, so I'm
Oh,
not sure of the exact dollar
yeah.
amount, but
Double
somewhere
check.
around there. Yeah,
Double
and
check.
it's about like the almond cow. They're similar in price. They are not similar in what they do to me. I feel like the almond cow's motor is not as strong. It does have something that supposedly strains for you, but you still have to work pretty hard at it compared to the Nama. So if you can afford it and you don't want to strain, the Nama is the one that's going to make you happier. It's easier to clean and things like that. The Meomat is my favorite large milk maker. I have a travel milk maker I take with me, the Arc Mira, which is just a random Amazon brand that happens to work better than the ones that we're spending a lot of money on marketing. And you can get one of those for like $56. It makes between 1.5 cups to 2 cups of milk. So a lot of times when we travel, I don't usually make cashew milk at home, but I can just have some cashews and some oats in our travel bag. I throw some loose leaf tea in there and make a tea latte and strain it. And that saves me $8
Wow.
every time I do it.
Wow.
We have tea before we're even done brushing our teeth in the
Yeah,
morning.
I make tea lattes for us.
Just
And
done.
you can bring some dates. You can put a date in there and have it date sweetened. So the two I recommend most often are the Meomat and the Arc Mira. And Arc Mira has a bigger one, but honestly, if you can afford the Meomat, that would be the best. If you want to make soy, if you want to make oat milk, let's have a heart to heart. Don't buy a milk maker. Oat milk, you don't need a milk maker. A milk maker is going to say grain milk, and you're going to do that, and you're going to think the world has ended because it's nasty to Americans. It's kind of like oatmeal milk, not oat milk, but oatmeal milk.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, like porridge milk.
Yeah.
And it's not what we're looking for. Most people are looking for something like Oatly.
Mm.
And all you need is a blender. A cheap blender. Probably your great aunt's blender will make oat milk for you with rolled oats.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
when I do, before I got my milk maker, or if I do use the Vitamix at all, I strain it in the nut bag, which, is pretty handy because if I, don't want to have what you were saying, the porridge. But even if you didn't have one of these, I find that like Home Depot or any of those kind of stores, they have paint bags, or you're holding up a counter. The paint bags are similar. They're kind of a mesh like what you're having. Couple bucks, you get 2 of them. I don't know how much they are right now, but when I bought
prices are changing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And someone was asking if there's a Ninja that'll fit in their tiny kitchen. This is almost like a double size one, the new one.
Yeah.
Even the deluxe will show those near the end. Should I go ahead and make the other pint, or do you want to
spin one of yours?
I can. Yeah, whatever you want, whatever you think. I can certainly do that. I can spin the almond marzipan. Like you said, you taught me that. Put the label on there, and I listen. And, but I wrote nice cream. You call it ice cream in your book. So that's something that I wanted to talk about, because when I don't want people to think ice cream, because when I think ice cream, I think dairy. And you don't need dairy to make this kind of whole food dessert.
No, not at all. And oftentimes it's better. So to me, it's because the Ninja Creami claims to make ice cream. And to me, when we're using these whole food plant-based thickeners, we're getting a product that reminds me of the Breyers ice cream I grew up on. So, and nice cream, a lot of people have bad taste in their mouth because it's the banana haters. They're like, there's going to be bananas in here. It says nice cream, and they're going to go on by.
Yeah.
And you can use bananas, but you don't have to.
Right.
I think that's so funny because I love bananas, but I do have some friends that don't. I just have to show you because you taught me and I was prepared to scrape, right? And I'm going to let you talk about what I'm talking about for those of you that don't know. But look, I don't have a bump.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
This is the first time. So I feel a little professional now.
I get them all the time. It just depends on how your freezer is, how everything's layered in there, what your ingredients are. It's not a you problem.
Okay. And so I went ahead. I have the Ninja Creami Deluxe. I don't have the one that you have. And I do love it. I love the pint size. And then I just will show that the blade is in my lid in case you're not familiar. Everything I learned from Kathy. And look at, she's got that beautiful purple one.
This is just the original.
God,
So
isn't it
it's the one that these pints go with.
QVC was the only place that I knew that sold the purple. Well, I think they sold it on their site for a little bit, but it kept selling out.
Ninja's a little crazy about making things colors. I love my purple one, but everything doesn't need to be my favorite color.
When we first got it, somebody said, Kathy, did you get that made special to match your hair?
And she's probably, I hope, said, yes, I did. No.
As much as I'd like to be that fancy, it's just not in the cards, you know?
I'm going to go ahead and spin this. Hopefully you'll be able to talk. I didn't mute you guys. So hopefully when you guys were doing it, they could just hear me. But here I go.
All right. That's not even loud.
I think he muted her. So I'm taking, this is magically, by the magic of TV, the frozen pumpkin spice I made yesterday.
Oh, and you are going to have to scrape that hump.
A little bit, yeah.
So this is what Jennifer was talking about. And she had her spoon ready.
Let's see. Oh, this way. This way. And it's not hard. This came right out of the freezer. And I'm just going to make it level. And the reason we want to make it level is because there's a blade that comes straight down. And if it goes to the side, it's going to scrape your container. I, so far, have not had anything scrape my container. And that's a big issue that some people have. But they're like, I'm not going to do that. Another thing to do, too, is to taste this right now. So I can go, if this needs more liquid, should I put a sweetener in? Should I put non-dairy milk in? It's so good. It's so good. This is one of my favorite ice creams.
It tastes like pumpkin pie.
Yes, it does.
This is pumpkin pie. I mean, just straight up pumpkin pie. You can't describe it any other way. She calls it a pumpkin spice latte. I've never had a pumpkin spice latte.
No, but you could use this recipe. So you could. So another thing that people think they have to get the deluxe machine because it has slushies and cremachinos. And if you go to Kathy Hester Vegan Recipes on YouTube, I have several videos about this, but you can make slushies and cremachinos without these. So like, let me show you this is the deluxe pint. So they'll have let's get the English part there. Freezer fill. So that's where your ice cream part will go. And then you'll add non-dairy milk and make your milkshake. Or you'd add Ticino and make your grain coffee pumpkin spice latte or whatever. So that one's made in a way that you can do that. This one, what I do is I make a batch, put half. Then you run it on ice cream, scrape it down real good. Then you add your non-dairy milk or non-dairy milk and coffee or Ticino or tea, and then put it on milkshake, and you have a frozen pumpkin spice latte. Let's see. I'm excited.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to show you this, and then if I need to do a respin, I will read one of the questions that's in here. But so let me just show you what it's looking like, because you were just talking about this. When you spin it, it might come out kind of like little beads or, not quite scoopable. And that's normal, right?
Absolutely. All that means is it's not done yet. So people say, oh, because I've had someone say, if you can teach me how to make it creamy, then I'll give one. And I'm like, well, it's not that you do it twice. Like you read my recipe, you do it and you respin, but it was still that way. Well, maybe you need to add a couple of tablespoons of non-dairy milk. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need to respin it 3 times. It depends on how cold your freezer is, how thick your dates were, right? Because maybe 5 dates is my number, but I got bigger dates from Costco today than I did last month.
Now, I also noticed that sometimes the sides can, like, for example, look,
an ice wall.
Yeah. So do you recommend that we scrape that down, or is it okay to just kind of mix it a little bit? I didn't add the milk yet. I normally would do that first and then mix it, which I guess I'll do right now.
You can do it either way. And if you end up having a big ice wall problem, there are 2 things you can do. One is you can let it sit out before you put it in the machine to spin. You can let it sit out 5 to 10 minutes. This depends on how cold your freezer is. You can also run some warm water. What you don't want to do is melt the bottom feet part. So like, one of the reasons I like to blend things is you would think these little feet are solid. No, they're hollow. And they hold in that frozen thing so it can shave it, basically.
Right. There's little holes here, what she's talking about.
Yeah.
That it fits in. So I just, when we made this, we tasted it and it was really good. But my husband, I chose this one, got really excited because he loves marzipan. And I had just bought this almond extract. I don't know if you could see it. And I'm like, oh, we have that. We could try it. It's one that we got that's locally made. I don't know. And so, always trying to support local small family businesses. But he was saying, can we make it stronger? And I didn't. Can I add it now?
Yes. Absolutely. So let's say right now, if you said, okay, the dates weren't as sweet as I thought they were, because dates are grown in the ground, right? So sometimes they're sweeter than others. And let's say, I don't think you use maple syrup, but I'm going to just make this as, let's say you have some liquid sweetener, date syrup, maple syrup. Sometimes instead of putting a little extra non-dairy milk, I will put a little bit of sweet, like liquid sweetener in there also. So any liquid, what happens is you're kind of working this in between. You don't want it to be so soft it's mushy, but you also don't want it to be crunchy. So you kind of got to go back and forth. Worst case scenario, it ends up being like a Wendy's Frosty. That is the worst case scenario. So I want you to take a deep breath and go, it's okay if I spin it again. And you know what? If you hate that consistency, stick it back in the freezer for a little bit. And then you can probably scoop it out and maybe like half an hour, depending on your freezer.
I love that there's so much flexibility because, like with certain recipes, when you're baking, you really have to follow it or it messes up. But this, it seems like it's very forgiving. So it's okay that I can add it later, and like what you're saying. And before you were just kind of going kind of by eye, you weren't measuring. And then I thought I always measure, right? And so here, this isn't a real measuring. So I kind of feel like I was kind of trying to be brave, but
you were brave. You went out your comfort zone, wherever your comfort zone is. And the thing is you've got to remember, I've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Ninja Creami pints. Mm-hmm. So, but even with me, like I always say, I'm like a wild baker because I don't do everything scientifically, but also that I'm doing things gluten-free, oil-free, vegan.
Yeah, so and I love it.
Close enough is delicious is how I look at it.
Yes. And so I'm going to do the respin button. But before I do, I want to read a question that hopefully you can answer, which is from Monique, how do you say
I know Monique P. Yeah.
Monique P, and I apologize for not being able to pronounce your name correctly. But here's the question. I've been eyeballing the 30-ounce Arc Mira.
Yep, Arc Mira.
You have the one with the clear pitcher. Is it glass or plastic? So I'm going to do mine and mute, and then you can answer that.
Stunt double.
I went in for the kill. No. So I have one. I just happen to have one nearby where I actually knew where it was. Don't get the glass pitcher unless they've changed. This one is the bigger one. It's stainless steel. In the glass pitcher, it has a non-stick bottom. I don't like that. This does have plastic on the top, but honestly,
not that much gets up on that top.
None of it should, or very, very little.
Unless it's been overfilled.
And also with this one, it's got the 3 holes. Let me get oh no, we've got it packed.
What?
The small Arc Mira.
Oh, I can get it.
Okay, bring that up.
Okay.
Because it's hard to talk about ice cream without talking about non-dairy milk, right? And so I'll show you the difference. Cheryl's going to get it because we had it, because we traveled up northeast. And this one, people were asking me a lot about that. And the Arc Miras have done really well. It's not like really, really a brand. She doesn't know where it is either. But it's pretty much exactly like this. One of the things, there's some new versions. Can you see my eye through here? Maybe not. But this has 3 holes all the way. And what I like is that it's less likely to boil over because the steam has a place to go. So don't put your hand over here. It gives you a note about that too. Okay.
Okay. So, and then we have another question too, but so I just went ahead and did what you taught me. Ooh, and look.
It's so luscious, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it looks really, really beautiful. Can you guys all see that? It really looks scoopable. It doesn't have the little pieces because we added some of the liquid. It smells very almond now. It's very amazing. I'm really excited about this. I cannot try this without my husband. I don't know if we should wait and try together. When you have something spun, I can just kind of hang this out here, or if we should try it now. You tell me.
I'm trying to decide. Yeah, Cheryl's bringing up the Arc. Since someone asked about the Arc Mira, this is the big Arc Mira I have. She's bringing the little one, and I just wanted to do the size.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, here we go. See, this is small enough to travel with.
Oh,
it doesn't take up that much room, and it also is stainless on the inside. And then it has a few holes for the steam to come out. That's all. I don't know what the price is on this one right now. The price last time was $60 on this. When I first got it, they were about $100. I will also say, do not buy a Nutter. N-U-T-R. I don't like them. They don't back up anything with a warranty. Arc Mira is a completely unknown company, but I've been recommending it for a while, and people have been happy.
And that is to use to make, just in case you came in late or you're like me and I couldn't hear you because I was spinning. That container is used for
making milk.
Oh,
making plant milk or boiling water. Like this is what I carry and I make my little teas and stuff with.
Awesome.
But I can spin and you guys can go ahead and taste that. How about that?
Okay, yeah. Should we read one more question or wait till after?
Sure.
Okay, we have a question here, which is, when you make chickpea milk with soaked chickpeas, does it have to be made on the hot setting?
I've never made chickpea milk. So, but you can't eat, well, can you eat chickpeas raw? You kind of can't. You can eat sprouted chickpeas and there's chickpea flour.
Yeah, not raw.
Yeah, I would say you would, the reason you have to cook soybeans. So like, let's say when I was talking about theoretically with the Nama, you could cook the soybeans, put it in and make the milk, or you could make the milk and then cook the milk. Both ways I found the Okara was inferior. Like the first way when I did it with cooked ones, it came out looking like hummus.
Oh.
And if that's okay with you, there's nothing wrong with it, but that messes up how I use it. So I'm not okay with it. but I would think you would have to. But there are two different methods. One's a Chinese method and one's a Japanese method of making soy milk. One cooks first, then makes the milk. The other one makes the milk, then cooks the milk. But either way, and if you did it where you're making it first and cooking the milk, you need to make sure you're cooking the okara if you're eating the okara.
Mm.
But the way I make it in the Miomat, it's cooked and I don't have to think about it.
Okay, so if you're going to go ahead and do your spinning, could you mute you this time? I'm not sure if last time if they were muted. Huh?
Yeah, I can mute from over here.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay, so she's going to get going there and spin that. That's going to be exciting. I can't wait because I'm not familiar with that machine, and but I just love this one. So we went ahead and did our almond marzipan. Because this is Todd's favorite, I'm going to invite him in frame. And here he is. Say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
And if you are not familiar, Todd is my husband. We're a great team together here. He does all the behind the scenes stuff. And so some of you know him and it's all good. Oh, wow.
I have a spoon.
Because
I'm eating that.
Because you love marzipan so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm going to scoop a little. You can use any spoon you want.
I'll use a better spoon.
And this is a little melty because I think we had it sitting
That's
out.
okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and put it in here.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make it you know,
All
a little bit nice. And then we'll try it and see how we do.
Okay.
All right. So, and you know,
we'll
both try it, but I'll just say when we first made Kathy's recipe for this, it said that you could add vanilla extract as an option. And I had vanilla bean powder, which I have here, and I did put all the optional things in, right? And then when we tried it, when it was soupy, you said that the vanilla kind of overtook the flavor a little bit.
Yep.
And so that's why we wanted to add the almond.
Which is, by the way, not a horrible thing that it tasted like vanilla.
Yeah, but you wanted it to try. So let's see how we did. And I'm going to try it too.
Do it. Ready?
Ready.
Cheers.
Cheers. I do not taste vanilla at all.
No, the almond is very, very.
Did I add too much?
Never. You can never add too much almond.
So, you know, that's the thing, like what, you know, what Kathy was saying is that you could play with it and find out what works for you. Like what she was talking about with the dates. I think that can be applied with some of these other flavors too, whether you're using vanilla bean powder or vanilla extract or almond or whatnot, you know.
Kathy, you're a genius.
We got to make sure she hears us. Okay, well, you can.
Fantastic. I'm taking this whole thing.
Okay. And we have a little bit here. And so I'd love to, Apple a Day said, ha ha, Todd's spoon, right? I mean, that was a serious spoon. Where'd you put that? It's like it's bigger than my fist. So, and you can certainly use this, sweetheart. You know what we could actually have done is put it on here and this could have been your bowl. So anyways, yeah, so I'm giving that a thumbs up. I thought that was really delicious. Now, using the vanilla bean powder, I just want to show, in case you're not familiar with it, I like vanilla bean powder because it doesn't have any alcohol or any extra things in it. Now, the almond extracts does. So depending on what, they usually have something added in here, but you know, oh, this one says natural oil of bitter almond, alcohol, and water. So, you know, I don't ingest alcohol, so I try to stay away from it even in the small quantities. But the thing that I was thinking about is I did all that work to try to get it nice and white with the almonds. This will darken it up. Now, her picture on her book, the Ninja Creami ebook 3, which is where I got this recipe from. And if you would like to get it, I'll put a link up here. Todd will put a link up here so that you can go ahead and get it there. That picture on the outside also looks dark. So, and I can't remember what recipe that was, and maybe she didn't say, but I'm wondering if I made this again. Well, I know I will. He's in the background, right?
You will make this again.
I will make this again.
Like almost every day.
If I didn't use this, or if I use the extract, would it change the color? Does it matter? No, but I was just curious about it. So let's see if they're back now. Let's see. Are you guys? Nope, they're still doing their thing. Anybody have any questions? Let's see. And Todd is saying that is spectacular. Monique said, I made chickpea milk on hot setting and it was great. So that's good. I know there's a lot of people interested in all the different milks, and I am too. And of course, kneading it in here is really important. So she's got her thing spinning. I've never yet used the spiral feature, and so it looks like it's a similar, right? Because the spinning is countdown, and it looks like 1 minute left on her thing. And Monique said a little bit sweet was the chickpea milk. Oh, that's interesting. And let's see, anything else? Oh, Monique said soaked the chickpeas overnight. Okay, so there you go. Now, I also have some other ones. These I just had in my freezer that I made, but I know Cheryl and Kathy have all these different recipes. Like this is just banana and ice cream. I'm almost like not wanting to say that because, you know, a lot of people don't like banana. We love banana. Banana is great for us. And of course, if you don't, this one, of course, didn't have banana in it. So it's nice that there's a lot of different options. And then this one doesn't have banana. This is an ice cream that I made on a different live. This is leftover cherimoya, which is a fruit. It's more like a sorbet. So anyhow, let's see if,
I found a problem.
you found a problem?
It goes down very quickly.
Nice. That's what I like to see.
Yep, Kathy, you're a genius. This is fantastic.
Yes.
I was going to let you know, Todd, that while we were in Germany, we actually went on a tour of a marzipan production place in Lubeck.
I would have
And
to
they
get
had
the
some chocolate covered vegan marzipan.
Yep.
It was amazing. So they do have about 5 or 6 vegan things. You have to kind of look for where they are. If you get there, do it.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
honey, road trip.
Woohoo!
That's quite the road trip. But yes, that would be a wonderful thing to experience. And we will keep in contact with you about that. Wow. How cool is that?
You definitely need to come with us sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We would so love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it would be super fun. So I don't know if you guys noticed when I was doing the buttony things, and actually that's just, the same lid keeps falling. I'm going to go to this. So with this one, obviously there's two, this is like from here over like the original, and then there's this thing we're going to use in a little bit that's for the special making the swirl. But on here we have soft serve or scoop. So you pick one of those. So I knew I wanted to do soft serve. And then when you, let's see if it'll do it. When you do soft serve and you have it in, it'll give you certain things you can pick. And if you do scoop, there'll be certain things. So that's one thing, that's your first choice. Kind of like in the deluxe, you have a choice to make too. So I just wanted to mention that. So one of the things that I've done is I did soft serve. So it's going to process and spin a little bit longer and typically be pretty much ready to go. So if you look here, see if I can move this a little bit more now. And it's still pretty thick. Actually, I've got this. But look at, see, there's no ice wall at all. There's just none. And it is a very thick ice cream. So I haven't tried swirling this one. So we'll see how it does. I'm going to be changing the lid on this. So this is also something that's only with the swirl. So let me get all this out of here. But do you see what I'm saying when I say this is kind of like a rich premium ice cream? right?
That looks like it, definitely.
And what was the base of this one?
Pumpkin,
Pumpkin.
literally pumpkin. What you guys have to get on sale after Thanksgiving is over, right? All right, so I could scoop it just right now, but instead, with my mouth full of it, we're going to put this on.
So
And
that's
then
a different lid. That's a different lid. That's not the spinning lid.
it's not the spinning lid, and it's only on this one
Only on the swirl.
because it's for the swirl part.
Okay.
And see how there's a little blue there. Right here on this, there's a little blue here, which when you do it, makes this part down at the bottom.
And you heard the click, and you can feel and hear a click when it clicks into place there too.
And then I think we'll be able to see this here. See how it says close? And then if I go here, it opens. And see how that opened this up? So stuff can come out of here.
Not a bowl.
I got one.
Ah, okay.
And then this guy here is going to help me. And first it's going to take a little while because it's got to push all this out. And I thought this would make everything kind of, is it not on right? Let's see. There we go. I didn't have it turned on.
So there's this, it pushes, it has like a disc
Maybe
thing
better
that
if I
it
do
pushes.
it this way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see which way is going to be the best way for you to see it
I
come
think
out. I'll
that's
let
pretty
you do
good.
that.
I think the other way was pretty good.
You think?
Yeah. Because I can do this.
But you weren't.
Well, I can. Here.
And it'll take a little while, but you can kind of see some of this starting to move forward.
You know, it reminds me of like a gigantic one of those cookie presses.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. And see, look.
Oh, wow. Look at that, you guys. I know I don't need two machines, but.
And nobody needs this. Okay, stop. And if you push it up, obviously this is not the best swirl in the entire world, but
It's a swirl.
it's a swirl. And so I know Chef AJ had been really missing soft serve. This is so good.
Pumpkin pie.
And honestly, we've had some vegan soft serve. This is so much better.
Mm-hmm. So
And
much.
literally, you've got a vegetable in here.
Tell me, okay, not only tell me about the flavor profile, but about the consistency that the swirl offers.
So when you do pick, what do they call it? Scoop versus soft serve. Soft serve actually processes it more. So it ends up looking a lot like yours after you did the respin and added a little bit of extra liquid. So it's going to depend on the mixture. And sometimes it's even going to be kind of like a thick, frosty consistency, depending on the ingredients. But it's just very smooth. I mean, there was no ice wall at all after the first one.
Mm-mm. It tastes just like you remember a full fat pumpkin pie.
Well, she wants to know about the texture.
Oh, the texture is like the texture's like a premium ice cream texture.
It's thick.
It's thick. You could,
but very, very smooth. Like, so let me see if this helps. Let's see. Can you kind of see how smooth that is?
Yes, and that's probably why it holds those beautiful lines in the swirl as well, because if it's too soft, it probably wouldn't hold that. That looks beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to make sure we did a swirl.
and then
Yeah, this one in particular
it's
is
not
quite
going
thick.
anywhere.
I'm going to actually also grab, this one's getting ready to go onto the cabinet.
Put it over there.
But, okay, things I want to tell you. If you have an Ninja Creami and you're happy, you do not need this. You don't. Why did I get it then, Kathy? Kathy, why did you get it? Because someone was going to ask me about it and I needed to know the answers.
I remember the day they said it was coming out, and she was sitting on the couch, and she just slammed her computer shut. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "There's another Creami."
And this one costs more. It takes up more space. There are some things in here that are nicer. It's a little bit quieter. Is it quiet? No, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not quite as ear-splitting. I feel like they've done some things that make it, I don't know. I just feel like it works a little bit better. I don't have any proof because I really didn't want to like it. If you don't have one, I think, and you have the room for a bigger one, then I would get this one. My very, very first choice, if you don't have one, is go to Costco and get whichever one they have. Because with Costco, they have a really liberal return policy. Our Costco has the deluxe. And usually Costco will have a couple of extra containers. It's the containers that are kind of important. But yeah, and it's easy to have FOMO, but like, think about this. Like, do you really miss soft serve? And if your true heart answer is yes, more than anything, and you would even consider taking a Ninja Creami pint and putting it into a piping bag to make your own soft serve, you should get this one. Right?
That's very specific.
It's very.
I gotta ask you, are the containers from the swirl and the deluxe, are they the same size?
Nope. No, it's back to the 1 cup size. I mean, the 2 cup pints. Okay.
So
for none of the models, none of the pints are interchangeable.
Of course not.
None of them.
Exactly.
Which is another reason why I get upset every time there's another new Ninja Creami, because I have like 50 pints right now, because when I do a book, I do all the recipe development and then spin them and do all this other stuff. So nobody needs those. You do not need that many, but a lot of people like having like 8 to 10, so that once a month they just batch prep. And you can do smoothie bowls, you can do acai bowls, green smoothies. Those are, I think it's telling. Yeah, it's pulling. Oh. It's automatically going, hey, you're waiting too long. It pulls this back.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
It's concerned about it not melting.
It is.
Here, and actually, speaking of that, let's close that. And that's why you have all the weird stuff there. These pints are more expensive, right? So I only have 4 of them.
And if you want to get more for whatever machine you have, that comes with it, like, you said, Costco, they do offer, I think, 1 extra container, but you can also order additional ones like on Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And you can get them on Amazon. Supposedly you can get them from Ninja, but they come in and out.
Yeah.
A lot.
One thing I would say, if you get them on Amazon, look at the reviews.
Yes.
And just make sure that people say works fine with my model, kind of thing, like that they work good with your model. Because like sometimes in the early beginning, there were some that the sizing was slightly off and people were having a hard time getting their lid on and things like that. So just make sure. And I think the majority of ours now have come from
I've done
Amazon.
Both. Yeah, I've done Amazon. I've done both Ninja versions of them and knockoff versions of them. But yeah, the deluxe is the only one that's 3 cups. That's like a pint and a half.
Yeah.
And like I said, this one also does slushies and creamies. But if you go to Kathy Hester Vegan Recipes, I have videos on how you can do it here and how you can do it in your other machines. So don't just buy the deluxe because you're like, I want to make coffee drinks. Okay, fine. Make your coffee drink. Just go watch it. It's also in the cookbooks, of course, too. So I tell you how to do all those things.
Well, and I think that Costco's been running some really good specials on this one.
Sometimes. And it's just, if something breaks, they will just take it back and give you your money or give you another one. and it's the best game in town.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so let's say somebody is watching and they're so excited and they go ahead and they buy one of your ebooks and they don't have the machine. They're going to get it. Maybe they're hanging out and waiting. You know, Black Friday's coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you make your recipes without having the machine?
You can. It's not going to be this beautiful consistency. So this is why you want this machine. But what you, Fergus,
Hi, Ferguson.
this is why we clean our counters.
Nobody.
And just remember, you don't have to have any of this if you don't like cats. So it's good. So what I would do, you can put it in ice cube trays, and I would use the smaller ice cube trays, make the mix, freeze it in there, let it sit out for about 5 minutes. Depending on your freezer, you'll have to kind of get used to it. Put it in a blender, and you're making kind of nice cream, just like you would it with frozen bananas or something like that. What's going to happen, and what I find happens with nice cream, is either Fergus, you're going to have to make a lot of it. So like when I would want to make nice cream and I'd use my food processor, you've got to use like 5 bananas before it will actually just go ahead and go to ice cream. So you have to either make it a significant investment, or if you're doing it like in your Vitamix or something like that, it's going to get kind of melted down more. So that's my, and if you love it that way, then yay, enjoy it that way. I'm not trying to like yuck your yum in any way, shape, or form. But like, to me, the fact that we can have, and there are a couple of recipes with nuts, it's very clear, and I try to give you options when there are nuts. But I mean, usually it's things like butter pecan, right? So like you can choose not to have. It's not like cashews are in every recipe or bananas are in every recipe. We have this usually a choice of what kind of thickener you want and the other ingredients.
And what's your favorite thickener of choice?
It's really tied between okara and white sweet potato. And the reason I say white sweet potato versus the regular orange sweet potato is Cheryl can taste the difference.
Oh.
And so if I make a chocolate with the orange sweet potato, she does not like it. The white sweet potato tastes like vanilla cake. So it can go in any recipe. And we don't always have just the ones with the white skins and the white insides. So I go to H Mart and get the Korean sweet potatoes, which have like red on the outside and more yellowish on the inside. And those are the white sweet potatoes I use most of the time. And
a clue or something that I've done when I was starting to learn about sweet potatoes and like different ones is you could, when you're in the store, you could take your nail and just scratch a little bit under the skin to see the color of the potato if you're not sure, you know, for whatever.
Absolutely. There's no shame in that game at all. And we do get white sweet potatoes. I think it is in the spring. There's some kind of heirloom variety in North Carolina. But the ones at Whole Foods are very expensive. Hannah yams are very expensive here. Mm-hmm. So, but here's the thing. If you're doing like what Jennifer's doing and you make almond milk, freeze that pulp. You don't have to dry the pulp. You can freeze the pulp and there's your half cup of thickener for next time.
Can I not use this now that it's dried?
You probably can. I just don't know if it'd be gritty or not. You can try it out and see what happens.
Reconstitute it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, going back for a minute about if you didn't have the machine, you know, when I first started making nice cream and doing different recipes and using a lot of the banana, I would use my food processor. And then I had this container. I don't know if we can get it out. It doesn't matter. But for freezing ice cream, the problem was that if we didn't eat it all or use it all and we froze it, it was like this hard blob, and if you let it thaw, it was never the same as that first moment. And like, you know, that was not the case with these machines.
I am on that page with you. And so I had like a fancy compressor ice cream maker. So it only froze so far, and then you put it in the freezer, and then it's hard because you made it whole food plant-based. And that's how the Ninja Creami works better than all the other things, because we're blending it fresh every time we're going to eat it. So like with that, all I have to do is level off the top, put it back in the freezer, and we can have it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Now, with
Yeah.
these containers, you are going to want to rinse that bottom part out with, especially if you're going to make swirl again, you want to rinse all that out with warm water in the bottom so it doesn't freeze and glom up that whole apparatus. But
It's super easy.
Yeah, it is easy. It's not something anybody else would have to do. So just know that. It's weird because in the Ninja Creami world this year, not in the whole food plant-based sphere of it, everyone's like, what can I add to my creamy so I don't have to respin it, and I can just scoop it over and over again? And I'm like,
just respin it.
yeah, I'm like, okay, that seems like a lot.
It's just a button push. It's you know, I'm excited to respin it. I think it's great because it's like, you wouldn't know that it was already frozen or that it was the end of the container or something, especially if you are going to share. And my husband is like not wanting to share this, but
And that's the other thing is most of these are pretty low calorie density, depending on what you're sweetening them with and how many dates you're using and if you're okay with dates. In ebook 3, I did do some experimentation with some pear sweetened, which are pretty lightly sweetened. You can use some applesauce. So I have a couple of pear and applesauce kind of sweetened things. I did make one sweetened with raisins to try that out.
Ooh.
And it gave an interesting flavor. It was different. It wasn't bad, but it didn't taste like raisins, but it tasted like something. So it was kind of interesting.
I know Wayne liked it.
Wayne loved it.
He thought it was really unique and he liked it. I didn't like it at all.
And
I think you and Jill were just kind of,
it was fine.
It was okay.
It was fine. It was ice cream. It was delicious. I was going to eat it. But just so you know, depending on what your dietary limitations are or requirements, there's a lot you can do. Like, and this is the raisin sweetened one, actually. And if there's time, and if there's not time, that's okay. I can really quick make this raspberry
there's
one.
time. Let's make it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I do want to ask you, with that one on the swirl, do you take that lid off for storage to refreeze any leftover and put one of these on instead with the label?
Yes. And this top is only for dispensing.
Okay.
And it comes apart into 3 parts so you can clean it really well. It's just what we'll do is we'll run some water through this to kind of clean out this little part here.
Okay.
Because if not, that'd be a solid part that's not going to get spun again, right?
Yeah. Leanne Long says it doesn't get creamified without the creamy. That's true. And she also said, I like the pear sweetened recipes.
Oh, good. And it's the best way to make sorbets. And you can make it with whatever food happens to be in season.
So you're about to make, I'm going to make this full screen. You're about to make another fun recipe. And this recipe is in which book?
The 3rd book. And this is my okara. And the okara is a little bit wet when it comes out of the Mio-Mat versus like the almond pulp when it comes out of the Nama. So almost always, unless I'm using beans, which I never use more than a 1/4 cup of beans because it gets too stodgy. Like we like that kind of premium thickness, but stodgy isn't nice. So this could be white sweet potatoes, right? It could be, if you use Joy, the kind of the almond butter that you make milk out of and stuff like that, you could use that. I have some almond yogurt that I'm going to put in here. And homemade yogurt is also a nice thing to use in your creamies. I wanted to make something that was really cheesecakey, so I'm going to use a little bit of lactic acid, and we can talk about that a little bit more. I'll just scrape all this out instead of washing it down the drain. And then we're going to use, I didn't pack all these down, 1/3 cup I have fresh raspberries. Frozen raspberries are just fine. And then I'm going to use some maple syrup to sweeten this. You could use, oh, here we go. You could use dates, but with a few of the recipes, I find like it makes it a little caramely. So if you're okay with your raspberry cheesecake being a little caramely, then use dates. And you might have to take down a little bit of the other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons.
That looks so good.
I love maple syrup, and actually this one has a vanilla bean in it too. So I got these on sale at the end of last year.
Stop it.
Okay,
I love vanilla.
right? Vanilla's great, and we're going to put about a half a teaspoon. And then all I have to do is my lactic acid. And this is the bag. Let me show you here. You can get it on Amazon, but it's vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO. It's made from sugar beets. So a lot of people think when they see lactic that it is a dairy product, but it's not. And you can taste it. It just makes it taste kind of fermented. So like yesterday when I made my vegan cheese, I used some of that. It's not a long fermented cheese, but it makes it taste a little bit more fermented.
We have a question here. Can I use almond flour, just ground blanched almonds? I use it to make creamer.
Possibly. I've not done it. So what I would, as long as it gets, if it kind of reconstitutes a little bit, you don't want it to be grainy. So while this blade comes through and spins everything, there is kind of a limit, right? It can't like do cornmeal and things like this. We're going to do about 2/3 of a cup non-dairy milk. But you could try it. If you're making creamer with it, my assumption is going to be that it reconstitutes, right? Or you'd have a really kind of mealy creamer, which sounds very unpleasant. Okay. And so again, almost all these recipes, measuring out some ingredients, blending them up. Trying to get that yogurt incorporated better.
And if you didn't have that machine, any machine that you can blend it would work. Your Vitamix, or would you say it would be creamed or thinned out or blended well enough with a food processor, or no?
If you don't have anything else, you could try it, but I don't think you're going to get the best result.
Got it.
That's all. And you're already spending some money, but you don't need a $500 blender. You could get an inexpensive Ninja blender. This and this recipe is not as thick as the pumpkin one. So you'll see kind of like, you want to taste it?
Mm-hmm.
There's that spatula again. I kind of wish I knew about that spatula more.
Do you have the Beast?
No, is that?
You don't need the spatula then. It's made special for the Beast to go through the grooves.
I need to get the Beast. How does it taste?
It tastes
It's
really
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes just like cheesecake. It's kind of awesome.
So could you use any, you did an almond-based yogurt. Could you use like a coconut, or does the flavor really change based on no, you could use anything?
I think you could use anything. And honestly, sometimes I use soy okara and make kind of a faux sour cream or yogurt. I blend it with a little bit of non-dairy milk, use some lactic acid. Sometimes I'll put a little citrus in there. So I use my okara for a lot, which is why I'm very much team, I want the okara I want, right? And a lot of people who are in Kathy's Cooking Club now are using this. Now, here's some, you can't just buy wet okara. You can buy okara flour, which isn't quite the same thing. But if you have a bubble tea place that makes their own soy milk, like we have Bean Flour in Durham, I asked them about that. I'm like, if I told some people, could they buy something? They're like, sure, we just throw it away.
Oh.
So you could talk to them about maybe buying some as well. And what I like with this, or like with your almond, or whatever you're using, and actually the first ebook I use more Joy, which is like the almond and cashew milk base and oats to kind of make things creamy before I really kind of got into doing the whole food plant-based thickener, which is why I always recommend book 2 and 3, because it's just those two are just a little bit different concept. The ones work in book 1. I just think this is an easier solution to wrap your mind around to make your own things. But once you start having something, if you're making your own milk, and then this is just free. Do you know how much like that Kite Hill ricotta is that has stuff in it I don't want to have? For a tiny little container, it's like $10.
Wow.
This much ricotta would probably cost me $30 or $40. And instead it's free. And with my powders, when I buy a bunch of mushrooms at the Asian market, I pull the stems out, I dehydrate them, I keep them in a airtight container until I have enough, put it in my blender, and I have free mushroom powder. Right? So it's about, and there's nothing wrong with cooking with your stems, but it's something I don't notice that gives me something else that really enhances a lot of my other dishes.
I love that. So just because you brought it up, the mushrooms, those are fresh, not the dehydrated mushrooms.
Yes, but you could use dehydrated mushrooms. As long as they are dry enough and crispy enough to blend down to a powder. The Beast does really good. The Beast is almost as big of a motor as the Vitamix. They had them at Costco a couple of years ago. Like literally, they clearance them. So I got two. I got a backup. They were like $59 each.
I remember looking at them and I'm like, what do I need another thing for? And I was so regretful after they were gone. I'm like, I want to go back actually and get that. And then I went back and I'm like, no, because Costco, they move stuff in and sometimes it's gone.
Yeah, and even ingredients you love. And so the thing is like I usually use a less expensive Ninja blender, but I was just getting ready to go on my third one. And because those do have a limited life when you cook like I do, right? Like normal people aren't making 50 pints of ice cream in a month, right? So I'm using it more than a normal person. So I would never tell someone, don't buy a Ninja blender. There are very few things I say no to. So remember what I said about not buying that milk maker. So because usually it's a thing. And the reason I don't want you to buy a Nutter is just because they're not returning customer service calls and they're not doing, I'm in their Facebook group and they're not answering the people.
Yikes.
We actually had one and we had a problem with it and it took 3 months for me to get a response and the response was not very good.
Yeah.
So
it was weird. So anyhow, but like there are 80,000 bazillion milk makers on Amazon right now. So like if you find one that looks like the Arc Mira and it gets good reviews, that's great. Just check, make sure what the materials are made of and look at the reviews, because even there's some that look like Meomat but aren't. Some people love their almond cow. And if you love your almond cow, I support you in that because it is an individual thing. And the same thing, like if you're like, I think the swirl is silly, I don't want soft serve, I don't want to spend more money, and then I don't want to have these other things I have to deal with and clean up, then get the cheaper one, right? It's all about what works for you. And Chef AJ is all about the swirl. She loves the swirl. Like that is, she feels passionate about it.
That's very
she's
cool.
a huge soft serve person, so
She
it makes
is.
sense that as soon as she could get soft serve, that's what she wanted.
It changed the game. But like to me, like my big thing that I've been selling about the Ninja Creami to the whole food plant-based community is we get this wonderful scoopable ice cream, which you can't really get from Nice Cream. And so to me, it's still a little bit backwards for me to go, okay, now we're going to make that same kind of consistency, right?
Yeah, and there is something to be said for mouthfeel and, and just the flavors and being able to have that experience still, but it's not like harming you in any way, which is so cool. Apple a Day said, sadly, I need to go. My cat's pantry needs restocking. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Apple.
Bye, Apple. I did want to ask a couple things. So I just, and this is kind of melty because it's been here, but this is a cherimoya that I made a while ago. And so that's coming from a fruit. So like we didn't really talk about sorbets or, gelato or any of the sherbet type of things. Can you make that and spin it in that spinning swirl?
Yes, I'm trying to remember if I ended up making a gelato recipe, but gelato, like honestly, that pumpkin that I just had was a pretty
close.
close. I can't remember if I decided with gelato. I think at one point I had made one. I don't know if I ended up putting it in here. That's why I'm looking.
Well, while you're looking, I grabbed this when you were doing that, but this is the container that I used to put my, leftovers in.
And it's horrible. I had that one and you cannot get it out of there.
You can't get it out. And then when it thaws, it's just like liquid goo. So I have not used this since getting these beautiful containers and being able to do the respin. Now, another question, not to bombard you with questions while you're looking for that. In the swirl, can you do add-ins, mix-ins? Or do you just put that on top after?
I would put it on top after because it could stuff up that hole that the ice cream's coming out of, and that could be problematic.
Okay,
for sure.
So if someone doesn't know what we're talking about, a mix-in on my machine, on this Ninja Deluxe, is like when you respin and it's ready to scoop just how we did it, there's kind of like that little hole it's sort of in the center, and you can add things that you don't want blended, right? Like frozen cherries or chocolate chips, or what else? What would you put in there?
Right. And know that some things that are softer still may blend in a little extra. So if you wanted to put in, let's say, some whole food, plant-based, oil-free cake, maybe you had some cake and you I would cut them up in small things and put them in the freezer, take them from the freezer and then put them in the mix-in. If you just put, I have a bite of cake left over from the potluck, it's just going to smush it all in and you're not going to get any texture from it.
Okay.
And that can happen too sometimes with soft, fresh fruit. So you want to have them in bigger pieces.
Yes. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. And when we talk about gelato, it's just really a thick ice cream. So I was playing around with doing something, but I don't think it's in the book. But what I do as far as sorbets and also for sorbets, ice cream, and smoothie bowls, I have a template recipe for you to make your own recipes. So like the recipe to make any sorbet, as you can see here, it's just like, usually I use like a cup of pear puree and a cup of fruit. Like literally. But you can go beyond that. So I could do a strawberry mint. I could do I don't know, I could do like a lavender blueberry.
Could you use watermelon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We did that, didn't we?
Yeah, you can even just, if the watermelon's sweet, you can just mash the watermelon and do a watermelon sorbet with one ingredient.
I wonder if you could do watermelon like basil.
You actually can. And I know I have a watermelon recipe on healthyslowcooking.com. Up at the top, you'll see the Ninja Creami, and you can come down and go to the recipes that are up there.
Or Scorpio says gelato is king with a crown.
Right. And it's okay. It's however you guys like yours. So I'm making recipes, and like what you could do if you like yours really, hard like Jill does, then you want to make sure not to respin it too much. Or if you accidentally do, pop it back in the freezer for half an hour and come back. It's not a deal breaker. It's not like you put too much salt in the soup, right?
Yes.
And if you have a few pints, you can put that one in for tomorrow, try again, and pull another one out.
Yeah.
Go for
I love it. I love it. This has been so fun. That one that you just made with the raspberry cheesecake, I know it's not frozen yet, but is it thicker? I was wondering, just the consistency before it's frozen, it just seemed like it would have been thicker.
Nope, it's pretty thin. So sometimes they are thin and sometimes they're thicker depending on what things are used. So like the dates I used in the pumpkin were on their last legs, really. So they were pretty hard.
Oh.
And so that it didn't have as much moisture in like the dates that I just made. So it can be this way. Once it's frozen, it's going to freeze up really nice. As long as you know it has a good ratio, a good half cup in there, you should be fine of the thickener.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've released several incredible ebooks, and your newest one that's out is the Ninja Creami 3, which we've been talking about. I know that you have another one coming out soon. I'm super excited about that. But you know, how do you come up with like your, you keep reinventing and coming up with all these creative combinations. And I'm just wondering, like, what are some of your most favorite or most surprising flavor combinations that you've created for the Creami in any of your books? Do you have something that kind of sticks out or comes to mind?
The lemon fig ricotta in
Yeah.
here is one I was really excited about because I had been making ricotta with the okara. So I made like a ricotta, then put some lemon and figs, and it was just it's a really neat flavor profile.
I think there was a fig one from the first book too.
There may have been.
Mm.
That's the thing. If I don't have all the recipes in front of me, though, I won't remember because then, like I said, I've been working on 150 other recipes. Oh, and I do have vanilla caramel gelato. I opened it up to that this time.
Okay.
But I mean, like I just started looking at things like
that one's good.
The miso caramel ice cream is kind of nice. It's like a miso date, so you get that salty caramel. Like I'm always looking to do chocolate things for her. So there's like rich dark chocolate maple ice cream. And so if I did maple and you wanted to do dates, you might just take some of the other solid or milk out because it's going to be more date volume than there is maple syrup volume. But you can switch things through. And I have a section where I talk about switching things out too, so you can make it for yours. But like we've got milk chocolate turtle, pear sweetened milk chocolate, chocolate covered apple. So that's like sweetened mostly with apple, chocolate lavender, chocolate blueberry. So I'm always kind of trying to like I've got a kumquat that's really good. So kumquats are awesome. I didn't think it was going to work, and it's one of my favorites. And then I did a bunch of tropical flavors. I mean, when you look at all the recipes, I think there's just a handful, but I did the purple sweet potato ube, black sesame was a request that I had from someone, the red bean ice cream, pandan ice cream. Those are more like Asian flavor profiles. We did a sweet jackfruit because we use jackfruit right on our side of the world to make barbecue or things like that. And I used soursop, lucuma, which I had heard about as a sweetener. That stuff is magic. I got, so some of these crazy, and Mamie, those I got as pulps, and it was just fruit pulp at the Hispanic market at a really reasonable price in the freezer section.
Yeah.
So even the ones that seem a little out there, it shouldn't be that hard to get.
Yeah, soursop. We were just at some kind of like seed oil. Let's see, it's a seed oil free farmers market.
Oh, nice.
It was really cool. And there was a guy there that was promoting something. Do you remember? It was the hummus, and he was talking. Do you want to chime in?
He was promoting and selling hummus, but he was also talking about soursop.
Soursop, and he was saying that you can do stuff with the leaves, and you could do. And I'm starting to hear that more. And yes, that we might not see that, in our local grocery stores, but that's the thing. Go to some of these Asian stores or some of these Hispanic markets. You'll find stuff that is unusual. And anyhow, when you brought that up, I thought I just got to chime in about that seed oil free market. That was really cool.
That's a very cool thing.
That is very cool. And one of the things, like, obviously one of my missions is to make sure that everybody knows, no matter what your dietary limitations are, you can eat really delicious food. Like, this is not like runner-up ice cream that we're talking about today. This is just as good as what you used to have.
Mm-hmm.
And
better in some cases.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, and then you have control over it. The same thing like with powders and mixes. So like gravy mixes are great and convenient, but you think, oh, there's a bunch of crap in there. Well, when it's oats and stuff you put in there and your own mushroom powder, that's not crap, right?
Yes.
And so it's just can be so easy to kind of do more things that taste delicious for you. And you guys are going to just really enjoy it, and you can make it the way you want it, not just the way I like it.
Yeah.
Or Cheryl likes it.
Yeah. Because we have completely different tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Mona says, question here, can Kathy spell the sweetener?
I'm feeling like I'm at the spelling bee. It's Lucuma, Lucuma.
And
the spelling bee, I was out on round 2. I cannot spell my way out of a paper bag.
When somebody was editing the book for Kathy, she had spelled it Lucama,
Probably.
which is a town in North Carolina called Lucama.
You know what? It got figured out. So I say, good job.
That's what editors are for. I always say I'm the reason editors exist, and I'm okay with that. I've got lots of good ideas, concepts, and recipes, and somebody else can grammar police it all.
So do you have any new projects, books, or exciting things coming up that we should all be kind of looking out and forward to?
Potions and powders. So as much as I love my Ninja Creami, which is a lot, of all the books I've done, potions and powders is something that I may be the most passionate about, because with food costs rising so much and it being so much easier to eat foods that have things in it we don't want to have in it, having things like you get choices. So if you want to buy ketchup, you can buy ketchup. If you would like your ketchup to be date sweetened and salt free, you can make it. And it doesn't take that long. Most of these recipes don't take long at all. And if you follow along the next 2 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe it's even 3 weeks, I'm doing lives showing you how to use some of the powders and sauces from the book. And I just feel so passionate about it, because like I had some overnight oat mix that I got at Costco. It was like $20. Well, that's in there, and I made it for like $2.
Wow.
So yeah, I just think with the way the economy is, it's really nice to be able to save some money and put what you want in your food. It's very empowering.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And having this book coming out, it will help you step by step, and then you can mix it and you can have large portions, I'm assuming, so that you don't have to do it every time you're about to use it.
No. Yeah, exactly. You can do it in batches. And so like, I think I just moved everything away. Like, let me see if it's right over here. The tomato soup. Yeah. Well, there's some oats.
We had tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. She made the cheese from scratch. And
I made all of that in an hour.
The tomato soup was from the powder. And
why? I was looking for stuff earlier. I'm like an old person. I'm literally over here looking through things. But like, here, I'll just bring this over. This will be.
So you'll get the idea.
This is like peanut butter chocolate overnight oats with PB2 cocoa powder. And all I have to do is mix it with water, milk, or I could put some yogurt in there if I want. But I can travel with this in a blank mason jar and just mix it up the night before. And in the morning, my breakfast is ready.
Wow.
She does that a lot.
that's how I travel most of the time. And this is my nacho cheese mix. So you can take a couple of tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons of this, a quarter cup of water, whisk it in, put it in the microwave for about a minute. It thickens up from the oat base, and it's a pourable nacho cheese.
Okay, I got to do that on my potato.
Well, and I made some twice stuffed potatoes. If you look back on the lives, and so I used my taco seasoning in there. I put some beans in there. I think we even put some of the oat parmesan and mixed into there. Then I made this, and I have a dry mole sauce that looks the same. You put a little bit in with water, put it in the microwave. If you don't want to use the microwave, you could use a small saucepan on a stove.
Yeah.
But it just literally, you can toss it in there. And because it was so easy, I drizzled those potatoes with 2 sauces for dinner.
It was really
Wow.
good.
And you can kind of see why. Like, until you see it, you're like, okay, powders, gravy. And I'm like, no, but you can have nacho cheese in your purse.
I love it. And
Right?
I'm wearing a weighted vest and it's got pockets. So I could even, store some stuff in these pockets right here and be ready anywhere, anytime.
I like the way you think, Jennifer Diamond.
Well,
That's awesome.
Yeah. I do you have any last words or last things to share with anyone if somebody was maybe intimidated by any of this, to offer them?
Yeah, come watch some of the videos. Literally, I step you through it step by step. You can make your pints with me. There's all the directions in here. And then I want to say, too, because I think Todd put the link to pre-order potions and powders. So, yes, I would love for you to have this book. And if you want to, right now, you're getting some pre-order bonuses. So there's 2 full classes, the oat class and then a dry sauce class. So you get recipes before the book comes out October 31st. And slower than we thought. We're taking these lives, and as we're doing the lives, we're putting the recipes in there. We might be a week and a half off, but it's going to get there. And so you'll get all those recipes too before the book comes out, and then you get the book too. I'm also considering doing a big Q&A demo for everybody who buys the book in November. So the book is like $34.99. But just the 2 classes alone are worth $70.
And we're going to have you back.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to talk about that right before it comes out. So I think that's on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll double check that. And, be sure to look for that. And we'll have a good time at that time, too. And yes, Todd did put the pre-order. And I'll ask him just to go ahead and put that again there. And I just want to also say, with a lot of your stuff, I really like not only getting the books that you can download or you can print out or have on your phone, whatever. You have a lot of videos where you walk people through. Like when I got this, I sat and you taught me how to take it out of the box, all the pieces. And the video is really, really helpful. And I know you have a lot of those. And so if you're not...
We did the Ninja Creami experience. So the Ninja Creami experience is like a course that literally takes you from taking out of the box. You make your first pints. We go little by little. Plus it has the first ebook in it. So it's all inclusive of that. There's also a lot of free stuff on my YouTube channel that you can look out to.
Yes. Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your time and talent and your pumpkin spice magic with us today. I know that so many people are going to be inspired to pull out their Ninja Creami or go buy one and start experimenting after this. I know I am. So, please let people know where to find you if they haven't already. I know you just mentioned it, but the healthyslowcooking.com that's another place, and you can get a lot of free stuff from there. Isn't that correct?
Oh, absolutely. There's lots and lots of free recipes there. I do have a smaller site called plantbasedinstantpot.com. That's all whole food plant-based Instant Pot recipes. And then if you want to come hang out with us on our travel YouTube channel, the Plant-Based Explorers. I just made a new name.
It's on YouTube.
It's past my talking out loud time, I think.
Well, thank you so much for this wonderful and very informative and fun time together. I really enjoyed it. Todd, every time we have the camera off, he keeps coming over here and taking a scoop. He should have just taken the whole container, but he's very happy with this, aren't you, honey?
We're gonna have.
Oh,
He wants
that's
to really-
awesome. I'm so excited.
So, and yes, again, Kathy is going to be joining us again, and hopefully Cheryl too on October 23rd. So please come back and spend some more time with us. I just want to just say thank you so much. And thank you everybody who was hanging out with us. We truly, truly appreciate it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Any last words, either of you?
Just everybody do something really nice for yourself tonight. It's been a long day. It can be kind of a tough world out there. So if it's lighting a candle, reading a book, take a walk, just take a few minutes just for yourself.
I love that. Nice deep breaths. Yeah. Anything, Cheryl, were you going to say?
Oh, same thing for me. I'm just like, after being out today and people were just driving crazy and just kind of like freaking out. I think just take a breath and just relax and just kind of move into your evening very Zen-like. Do something that you like to do for you. If it's watch some silly TV show, watch that silly TV show tonight.
That's what we're going to do.
That's a great reminder. And Todd and I are going to check our calendars and figure out when we can go traveling with you guys.
Awesome. We can't wait.
Yes.
We're going to Germany.
We're going to Germany.
Yes. All right. We're in.
Well, like I always say, don't forget to eat your greens in addition to having some fun in the kitchen, and give plants a chance. They will not let you down. I promise. So take care, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.